Hello, my name is Cassidy Taylor, and the article that I chose is from WCNC Charlotte, and it is titled CMPD Officer Who Died by Suicide May Be Nation's First with CTE. It was published on September 6, 2025, and it is about a Charlotte police officer named Brent Simpson who took his own life last year. However, now it is being reported that he may be the first known U.S. police officer to have chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is also known as CTE. If you haven't heard of CTE, it is very common with professional athletes, especially football players as well as boxers. It is a degenerative brain disease that is caused by repeated head trauma. Due to evidence of CTE after his passing, it has become a turning point or a talking point for the nation. CTE is known to cause memory problems, and it can also cause impulse behaviors, which can lead to anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. It is rare, and there is little to no study on it for police officers, so this can mark a big development in being able to recognize it for people in law enforcement. It is confirmed. If it is confirmed, it can push more research, more awareness, and more officers, and more awareness for these officers. This relates to Chapter 7 in our textbooks, where it talks about stress. It talks about how suicide among cops and law enforcement has become increasingly common, but it is hidden, especially from the media. There are more police officers dying from suicide every year than actually dying in the line of duty. This is from the PTSD, the chronic stress, and the stigma around mental health that they face on a daily basis. Our textbook even states that that police officers are 50% more likely to commit suicide than other general American workers. This stems from the fact that they often are discouraged from showing any kind of emotion or vulnerability because of the stigma that is attached to it. It can kind of make them look weak in a sense. And this Brent Simpson's suicide adds to this alarming crisis and highlights how trauma endured from being a police officer can affect people's mental health. Overall, this article, as well as the textbook, emphasizes that the police suicides are a mix of physical trauma, mental health, and the stigma that prevents them from getting the help that they will need. I think that there needs to be far more resources and far more support available for law enforcement, so that way they are not only able to live long, healthy lives, but they also are able to have a good balance of their life outside of their career as well. And that can sometimes be prevented, or that can be prevented with jobs like this, if they are able to get more support that they will need.